Hi guys, we have quite a collection of cars here, and we've got Mel and Patrick here with the Bentayga. All right, that's being featured in another of my videos. Right over there, we are coming to something a bit more affordable over there. That's the Renault Captur, which I have reviewed previously. The Discovery Sport is right there at the background, and that's also going to be featured in a separate video. So yep, here, this one, I'm going to talk about the Captur, which I've already reviewed twice in this channel. And so I'm just going to go on a quick walk around on this car, right? Just to refresh, okay, recap. And so you see the Captur, 110,000 ringgit. It underneath it is powered by a 1.2 liter turbo engine mated to a dual clutch transmission. All right, this vehicle is, well, 110,000 ringgit. It is a smaller, it is thereabouts the same price of a Honda HR-V, but it occupies a smaller footprint on the outside, and it is also genuinely smaller on the inside. But still, this is a car with charms. It's a very likable looking car. All right, the styling has, as I said before in my previous reviews, it has a very cheerful kind of styling that, you know, that reminds you of a happy puppy. All right, this is the facelifted version with an updated front. You differentiate it from the previous model with this new C section, this new C-shaped LED DRLs. The headlamps are halogen projectors. All right, so not the most expensive headlamps that you can get, but I appreciate the fact that they gave you projectors rather than the more cheap looking reflectors. All right, so you have also two-tone paint scheme, black roof, right? This car actually looks better if you spec it with one of the brighter color schemes. Yeah, so this blue-green, it is very, I would say, very understated, right? You may want to spec this with one of the reds or the bright blue or even the orange, right? And this car would look really great, all right? Really, it will look like the kind of car that makes you feel, I would say, young at heart, right? Okay, so at the back here, overall, pretty decent, unoffensive looking car. All right, I'm just gonna bring you inside here. And the cabin, well, it's quite a contrast to the exterior. The cabin is just one shade of gray. All right, the material, well, this is soft touch plastic, this is hard touch, so you have the different grades of materials, all right, but a very monotone appearance, pretty standard fare these day and age. Quite unfortunate that they could not replicate the funkiness of the exterior inside as well. Like I always said, you know, this dashboard really could benefit with a bit more contrast in the color choices and materials. But look at this part of it, this is soft touch. All right, many cars this segment, this would be some hard grade of plastic, but they actually were kind enough to provide soft touch materials here. This is soft as well. This one is hard but acceptable. All right, acceptable. Well, as I've mentioned in my previous video also before, some funky French ergonomics here. The audio controls are located here in this stock right at the back. All right, here, okay, these are the steering mounted buttons are the cruise control, but to activate cruise control is here, right here. So yeah, very weird ergonomics. You got a touchscreen here, single zone climate control. You got a lid here, which is pretty deep. Okay, this is also deep. Cup holder is comically shallow, but that tray at the back also can store a useful number of items. And yeah, so come to the back. Okay, all right, decently spacious at the back, as I've illustrated in my previous video. The last car that I drove, this seatbelt buckle kept banging against this plastic, but this car doesn't have that problem. And the seats fold down, split folding, and you know, as it folds down to a seamless boot floor. All right, okay, and we come to the back. Okay, open up the boot. Okay, so you notice that the boot floor is, well, not exactly flat per se, but it is seamless. All right, and this floor can be lowered. You can put it like this. All right, so they've clearly put that slot there okay, for you to slot this in, to hold this while you chuck things in there, all right? Or you can just put this down, lower this to free up extra cargo room. You can also adjust the seat forward and backward to adjust your available cargo room. So that's a very nice touch, okay? All right, let's close this and bring this car out for a drive. So the Captur, what can I say? It is a pleasant car, right? So very, because of its compact footprint, it is very nimble, very agile, very chuckable. The perfect kind of car you want to be driving in, say, downtown KL, heavy traffic conditions. And because it's compact footprint, this is a car that you can quite easily chuck around in tight corners, right? Eyes closed, no problem. The engine and transmission pairing also feels significantly more refined than it was when first introduced. I observed this already in my previous review of this car, and that observation stands. Because early on, when I first drove the Captur, right, my observations at the time was that the dual clutch transmission in particular offered none of the benefits but all the drawbacks associated with the technology. I mean, it was not exactly fast shifting, yet at the same time it was clunky and jerky at low speeds. So they have managed to improve on the low speed smoothness part to the point where this transmission, well, it is still not fast shifting like a Volkswagen DSG, but it makes a sufficiently passable impression as a good old-fashioned 6-speed torque converter gearbox. Not a bad thing. All right. Yeah, the ride is good, well judged, nicely damped. It's the kind of feeling that you get only with a well-tuned European chassis that that settles the body in one motion every time when you hit a disturbance. Okay, so yeah, it is a nice, pleasant to use city car. At 110,000 ringgit, well, it's a bit difficult to make a fully convincing case out of it. All right, I mean, for the kind of money, right, if you want a compact, crossover class of vehicle, the Honda HRV is easily the most convincing option out there, and that is before you even take into account the unbeatable value proposition that the Proton X70 offers. So yeah, the Captur here, this is a vehicle that has its charms, all right, but of course, such is the strength of the competition, it is a bit of a difficult sell, but it is a likable car all the same.